Grand Rising, everybody. Today, this is Dr. Jacob G. Talley, and we're going to talk about something that, you know what, you guys need to know this because, some of you guys, you know, some of you guys, you got the right ideal, but you're going about the wrong way. When you do something or when you choose to accomplish something, you uh, we have that tendency to, be like, I hope, I'm trying, I wish I can, I do this, can do something. No, 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 no. When you are in the process of making a move, you should be thinking, I will, I shall, I must. And when there's another person involved, the mindset should be, we will, we shall, we must. And you should, um, in a group or when you talk to somebody, don't, you shouldn't be saying, we are going to try to do this. You should be saying, this is what's going to happen. The way you speak your word in terms of an effort, you got to demand it. And when you demand it, you got to expect whatever you demanding is going to happen. You have that right. You, you know, why would you have that right to demand something? The reason why you have that right to demand something, when you demand something, you're also putting on, taking on a responsibility. Because when you demand something, you got to put in the work. And that give you the right. Somebody asks you, well, who are you to demand anything? Hey, I put in the work. That's why I can demand something. And because I put in the work, I expect what the work that I put in, it's going to happen. Because, matter of fact, I know it's going to happen because I put in the work. And, you know, in John 15, verse 7, it said, if you abide in me, my words abide in you. Whatever you wish, it will be done for you. So that gives you permission from the God in you to call in demand what you want. You ever seen movies or whatnot where the genie and that person say, the genie says, "Hey, what you want, what you wish," and they say, "I wish for $1 million." What the genie say? Your wish is my command, and bam, So whatever you are working toward, long as you got to demand it and expect it. I'll give you an example. When in how do you demand it? Did Moses go to the Pharaoh and say, could you let my people go? No, Moses rolled up in there and said, the Lord said, let my people go. And he said it in a way with Pharaoh like what? And what did he do? He let his people go because he didn't want that smoke. He knew that, Moses was serious and the demand was real. And Moses knew by his demand, he expected to get some type of result. And he got what he wanted because the Pharaoh, he let Moses people go. I mean, God's people go. Another time when the Pharaoh let um, the people go, he was going to try to be slick and follow him and trying to recapture him. In Exodus 14, verse through verse 13 through 17, Moses did what he was told to do. They get to the Red Sea. Moses didn't have no doubt what needed to be done. God told him to take his staff and raise it up in the air. Moses didn't ask the Red Sea to part. Moses demanded the Red Sea to part by raising that staff. And the Red Sea parted. And when they crossed over, Moses turned around and raised that staff again and demanded the sea to close, and the sea closed on those people that was still left in the middle of the Red Sea. So Moses wasn't no type of guy that was going around, dancing around, asking for stuff. Moses demanded and expected, and he got what he requested. And with that when you expect, you have that faith that it's going to happen. Expect and faith at that point are hand in hand. I'll give you another example. When Jesus ran across Lazarus. Lazarus was dead. Jesus didn't walk over there and tap Lazarus. Hey, you all right? Wake up. He knew Lazarus was dead. What did he do? He stood up. He stood over Lazarus and said, Lazarus, come on out. And with that demand, Jesus expected, and what happened? Lazarus came out. He arose from the dead. Jesus demanded, Moses demanded, and anything that they demanded, it came to existence. Don't be hoping and praying like I hope, this will happen. I pray for this to happen. Demand it, but be willing to do the work to make it happen. Because if you make it happen, if you do the work, you got the God in you backing you. And ain't no better resource backing you than God. Give you another example. Y'all so hard on Pookie and Ray Ray. I'm going to tell you something about Pookie and Ray Ray. Them fellas practice, demand, and expect. When you see Pookie and Ray Ray come up on you and they demanded that you give them some money. You don't owe Pookie and Ray Ray a dime, but they demanding this money, and they expect you to give them the money because you ain't worried too much about Pookie. But I tell you, Ray Ray got some hands, and Ray Ray will use them hands, and so you rather just give Pookie and Ray Ray your money than get those hands. But those guys, you know, they demand and they expect, and that's how we should be living our life when we pursuing anything in wanting something in our life. Demand it. There's nothing wrong with like I said, John 15:7 shows you that God got you back. The God in you got you back. So what you worrying about? You know, you definitely have to be willing to do the work. Cause you know what they says in James chapter 2, 14 through 26. Faith without work is dead. So when when um, when you expect, that's faith. But if you don't do the work, no, you ain't going to achieve nothing because you don't deserve it because you did not do the work. You know, so that you know is very important to understand in anything you do. You know, reinforce, to, take away, um, you know, those words, hope and try, and you know, always use I will, I shall, I must, we will, we shall, we must. This is what we going to do. And the words you use and how you use them, no, how you express your word, determine whether you're asking or whether you demanding it. In you know, it's like little Tom, it's like little Tommy. If little Tommy tell ask mom, can I go to Johnny's house? Me and Johnny gonna ride a bike. Mom gonna have the option to think. But if little Tommy tell mom, me and Johnny is going for a bike ride, Johnny ain't asking. He telling her, and that's a form of demanding. You know, and so change your mindset. Instead of asking, don't be afraid to demand, and definitely don't be afraid. Once you demand something in your life, expect it to happen because your words are, like I said, your words are are attached. Um, and the God in you, He's only going to give you what you ask for. So you gotta be careful what you ask for because it's going to happen. It will happen. But you gotta put in the work. You know, as a as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So how you think, how you go about things, demand it and expect it, write it down first. This is what I'm going to do. This is what we're going to do. Write it down and plan on how you are going to make that happen and proceed to do it. Um, your work will reflect, your action will reflect your work, and by demanding it, it put the responsibility on you to make it work, to make it happen. And so with that, you know, um, I'm going to close with that, with any questions anybody may have.
Well, I don't have a question. It's more like I'm just glad you gave this TED talk today because affirmations are important. And if you're a real G man, you don't wish nothing, you do. It's like, the principal rounds of Jacob's ladder is faith, hope, and charity. And we all know the first two, faith is lost with being seen, hope is lost with attainment. So we don't hope and we don't wish, we just do.
Well said, my brother. You know, um, you know, um, demanding, demanding what we want to happen is 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 a way of life, and God wants you to demand um, uh, what you want. He wants you to expect um, um, the results of the fruit of your labor. You know, you're going to be rewarded. Sometimes people be like, "That's not what I asked for." The reason why you didn't get what you think that you asked for, you need to check out what you asked for, because it may not what you asked for may not been what you thought you asked for. And if you didn't put in the work, you got what you asked for.
I got a question, brother Jake. So what's the training for that? What's the everyday wake up regimen to keep you in that mind state of demanding as opposed to wishing and hoping and asking?
Get you a piece of paper, my brother, and write this on separate paper. I will, I shall, I must. We will, we shall, we must. In any time that you are speaking to yourself or to another person or a group, I will, I shall, I must. The group, we will, we shall, we must. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. When when you get yourself in the mindset and train yourself to demand it, it's going to come naturally to you, and you're going to find out like, dang, this is happening. Because why? You put in the work, my brother. You deserve it, and you should expect it. Anything you do, you should expect it. But every day, I will, I shall, I must, we will, we shall, we must. This is what we're going to do. This is what I'm going to do.
I have a question here. What is better, the written word or the spoken word? What would you suggest?
You write it down first and then speak it. Because you reason why you write it down first, because now it's in your vision. It's in your sight. When you speak it, that put it into existence. So, but write it down first so that your mind can see it. And when you speak it, that put it into action.
Thanks for explaining. And also, what I would like to ask is, I said, like, how about when you want to do something, but in the process of demanding, you might probably like weaken it too much, or you want to be too polite, or you understand? I'm using like a lot of like very, I soften the tone too much. Will this affect my outcomes as well?
When you demanded something, you use the strongest words that you can, and you use your strongest voice. You ain't asking nobody nothing. You telling them what's going to happen. You tell them what's going to go down. When Pookie and Ray Ray run up on you and ask you for your money, I Asher, could you please give us your money? No. Pookie want to say, you better give me that money. You don't ask. You demand it. And you got the right to demand it because you put in the work, my brother. Who are you to demand anything? I can demand it because I put in the work. You ain't got to worry about what other people think. Are they putting in the work that you putting in? No. Now, if they want to put in the same amount of work that you put in, you know, they might have a say. But no, you don't worry about what other people think, because it's your journey, it's your work. You demand it and make it happen. You put it in existence. I will, I shall, I must. And when you're talking to a group of people, we will, we shall, we must. And this is what's going to happen. They're either going to be on the boat or, or they're going to jump off. You're either in or you're out. You read the man upstairs. There's a scripture that said, "It is I'll uh, I'll say this. I'll spit you out of my mouth if you lukewarm. It's better to be hot or cold."
Is this something like a mantra we can use during meditation, or is that not enough?
Anytime you want to collect your thoughts, you can be anywhere
Mm-hmm.
to meditate and collect your thoughts. And when you are collecting your thoughts and meditating, and you thinking about what your plans are that you have written down. You think, I will, I shall, I must. And when you say that, it's not, I want to do this. It's, I will be the I will be the first person on Mars. If that's what you want to do, I shall be the first person on Mars. I must be the first person on Mars. And then you plan on how you're going to do it. And by you saying that you will, you shall, and must, your planning will start coming to you. And when it comes to you, that's where the work is put in. And it will happen. Why? Because you put in the work. The how is because by demanding it, it provided you with the will, and it brings knowledge to you how you're going to make that happen. It will come to you. Earlier I had mentioned John 15:7. If you abide in me, my words abide in you. Whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. But you got to put in the work. It will be done for you. The God in you will provide you the means of getting it done. That don't mean you're going to just sit there and, well, it's going to be done for me. I'll wait. No, he's going to provide you the way for it to be done for you. You're going to have to do the work. You imagine if Moses would have got to the Red Sea and he just stood there waiting for the Red Sea to open. No, he was instructed. When you get there, you raise that staff and command, give that commandment. He demanded that water to separate. He didn't sit there. He didn't stand there and turn around to people. Hey, we're gonna wait for the Red Sea to open up. No, he had to do something for that sea to open up, and we all have to do something in order to achieve what we want in life. But we all have to demand it and accept the responsibility that we have to do something for it to happen. In accepting that responsibility is, I will, I shall, I must. This is what's going to happen. You know what? Everybody say it one time with me. I will, I shall, I must.
I
We
will.
I
will.
will.
I shall,
I
I must.
shall. I must.
shall, must.
We will.
We will.
We will.
We shall.
We
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 shall.
shall.
We must.
We
We
must.
must.
This is what's going to happen.
This is what's going to happen.
Going to happen.
There you go. Live by it, demand it, expect it. Demand it, and expected. Trust in the
Demanded.
God in you.
I have one more question. Let's say like this. We are saying a prayer. This means also that we should say it out loud, right?
You should also say what?
We should say the prayer out loud. What
Yes,
our thoughts?
yes, because when you say a prayer silently, that stays, it's still staying in your mind. Your words put things that you pray for in existence. The power, Dr. Lee Threets wrote a beautiful book on the power of words. And, and he done wrote over 200 or 300 books. But that book there, it done a wonder for me, attitude wise. But yes, you even though you think it, you have to say it. It's got to come out of your mouth to put it in existence to the world.
I got one question. I know you say I hope, I must, I will. Then when we get into the we hope, we must, we will. How do we protect I when we're dealing with we in a sense of how do we protect, someone not taking our kindness for greatness, or once we get into that state of where we want to be we get submissive. So how do we protect ourselves from that and make good
One
decisions?
one thing, my brother, I never said hope. We don't hope. We don't
So I'm
try.
saying, hmm
We do.
do.
How you protect yourself at a point when it's we.
hmm
If the person is not on the boat with you, if the I put it this way: you dealing with a person and you thinking we um we will, we shall, we must, and they have doubt.
hmm
Be
It,
mine.
that's not we. That's
hmm
still I, because they
hmm
ain't rolling with you because they doubt. If they have doubt, they're not we.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I got a question too, brother Jake. When you say we, when take a W and flip it upside down, what does it become? The me. And that's where people mess up. The we becomes me, you know. And I think is that a proper scenario? Like even when you're in a team setting, you always have to look for the person that's trying to flip that W to the M and make it me.
And that person get cut off the roster.
Yep, automatically.
Yep, they on the trading block. They get um, dealing with a woman. If that woman flipped that we into me, she's on the trading block. Matter of fact, she's a free agent. I ain't even trading her. She cut from the team. She has to be, because um, if there's no reading of the mind, and they're not with you 100%, then you letting the enemy interlo- interlope into what you are working on. And when you have an enemy within, that will destroy anything that you uh, are in the process of accomplishing. So that we wind up turning into a I. So it's back to I will, I must, I shall. It that we done that when it flipped to M, that turns into I, because that we is not there no more. And do not be afraid to adventure and take your journey by yourself, because you taking your journey anyway alone.
That's real, brother.
Dr. Lee, you got anything for me?
Beautiful presentation. Sitting back, taking it all in, and listening to the questions and what everybody's got going on, man. It was awesome. I mean, it was well said. Well said.
Great talk, brother Jake. That was beautiful, brother. Round of applause to you, brother. Like for real, that was dope. Wise words being spoken by a wise man. That was awesome.
It's
Thank you.
fantastic. Fantastic, big brother. I took notes and put it in my journal. So right on. Thank you for that. I needed that. I really did. Changed my whole perspective.